May 28th, 2026. Yeah. Well, I did that video last night of the laws that stop all this. But where Officer Mark, Officer John, needs to find out who the hell was in that courthouse September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse, where March 5th, 26, and I think March 12th, 26, Bell Store, they said it was the agent over my case and with opposing attorney. That is a federal crime. If an FBI agent helps an opposing attorney trying to destroy an informant, it's 20 to life. And let alone calling this case fraud and then trying to get it thrown out so the drug dealers get released. They need to find out who the hell was in there. And then who's been talking to my community health and then out to my other doctor and more. Because these aren't funny at all. And what they've been doing. It's Henry Maffei is one. Dave's girlfriend's dad. The one that admitted he never met me in person January 1926, and that he's trying to pull a fast one on the FBI and steal all the case's money for himself and take off. He's the one inciting Carl's family that he'll steal everything for them. See, that's where today we went up to Medina. We stopped in Fairlawn to use the bathroom, went in Bob Evans. There was ladies in there talking. Boy, she's really something. She told those people, if you do not take your stuff and just go, what will happen? And it will happen. I give people a warning. This is what will happen where my controlled anger of not doing anything. These people broke laws. Really big laws. Brenda's brats and his son Rick. And what the VA wants to do to Rick. We got a letter from Washington, D.C. from the VA there. They take it very seriously. Anybody threatening an older vet's life, threatening to steal from them, harassing them, sexually assaulting or assaulting them, they take this very seriously. Where I thought where Carl's getting counseling, I thought he was seeing a psychiatrist there. Seeing a social worker. And that social worker wants a protective order over Carl against his son Rick. And I'll tell you what, then his VA benefits are gone. Forever. That's one of the rules. You cannot threaten an older vet. And then she's going to go after his job and he won't have a secure job. See, that's what's supposed to happen to predators. Out there threatening to steal, destroy, and harm people. And she said there's a difference between a restraining order and a protective order. Protective is the intent of harm. A restraining order, they already harmed you. And with him telling, 4 or 5 people he was going to kill me and Carl? Let's see, what else? All the mean text messages, voicemails of threats, and what he did to that horse and cat, and how he was going to frame Carl for doing it, and then it ended up harmed. And then text messages, maybe I shouldn't have done it. Maybe you shouldn't have. Pretty doggone close to a confession. See, he can take his stuff and he can leave. Or we can go for a protective order. And we'll get it in this county. Because we got, like she said, you got enough proof for intent. Oh, and where these people had showed up, she don't have enough money, so oh, yes, I do. See, that's where you're very wrong. Yes, I do. Miscalculated. And then, since they know where we live, let's see. the 60 grand in checks that Brenda's brats, they're not even, this is where abuse disorders, where Brenda's kids were teenagers, and then that Deb that sexually assaulted him in the courthouse September 10th, 25. And he's like this, and she's all over his face. How did you like that? Sexually assaulting her 80-year-old stepfather. Gave him thrush. Heavy smoker, it's one of the things they carry in their mouth if they don't keep their mouth cleaned. And she smells, and she's dirty and toothless. 6 foot, 300-pound woman coming out of 5'3", 135-pound man froze. Well, she assaulted him in a courthouse. She should have been arrested the first day. She was 26 and grown when Carl married her mom. She was married, had her own child. Never knew him as even a stepfather. He's just where I've got it out of him that his second wife, after 4 months into the marriage, I don't love you anymore, you'll never touch me. Every time he didn't do what she was told to do, had her kids beat on him, including that Deb, and sexually assaulted him and warned him to stay quiet. She even threw his teenage daughter out at 15, 16 years old and told him she ran away. And like she said, because Carl drove truck, he was gone 5-6 days a week, long distance. She was even buying those teenagers pot and beer, and them to do in his house. And he said, I come home, and where my check would be direct deposited, she'd already had it spent. I barely had enough money to make it back to my truck. And yeah, she robbed him blind. Then when he got some money, his kids, her kids, that are not even her, they're Brenda and Jim's. Jim paid child support for the teenagers. Came seen them. Just died about 10 years ago. He even said up to, 10, 15 years ago? He'd stop in at Louisville apartment that they were living in and say hi to her before he goes see the kids and grandkids. They always had a real father. They just call him Daddy to manipulate him. My daddy, he's not their father. He's not on their birth certificate. He didn't raise them. He's just somebody they beat, sexually assaulted, and robbed blind. Do you understand? And let's see, those checks they wrote, they demanded that money, and they would beat it out of him. Boy, them. They never paid him back. Small claims court. Each and individual one. They don't want to hear, this is all her fault. They owe him that money. They never paid him back, and they don't take imaginary cash payments. And there's a good chance that Veronica, where even the VA, the social worker, said this looks like fraud, printed out her mother's name, that she wrote her own checks for like 20 grand. Get some proof of some signatures, and maybe she needs to go to jail for check fraud. See, these people are too stupid to walk away because they're justified. And where that Henry Maffei said that he's the one that is inciting my new husband's family to steal everything, that he'll get everything for them. He was glad he never met me in person. Tells everybody I'm not good enough for another man. He's ugly as a horse's ass. And, what else did he say? That he's trying to, the other Michelle's telling on him for what they're actually doing, where this whole thing is a scam to extort money out of the government. My ex-husband was involved. That the doctor from before is not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied. He was one of my doctor, and that guy Pete running his mouth is just some guy Dave hired on his own. She don't even know who he is. And they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And the tape of weird with yourself is nothing but photoshopped of washing in the shower. The whole thing is a scam. December 1st, 25, from Walmart 62. Still have the video of it. Where he said he's trying to pull a fast one on the FBI and steal all the case's money for himself and be long gone. He's the one Freeman loaded. One that has a judge's friend. That'll enter everything in court while the FBI is busy with Minnesota. No, they won't. Okay? So, well, when the beginning of the case started, I told you how that agent told on me for calling the hotline. And even told the Apostolic Church of Barberton he knew I was being drug beat, raped, and didn't care. Because some idiot called me a faker 15 years before, and it was medical malpractice and medication error almost killed me. And he admitted on a recorded line how he had all those church people in his office, including that family that admitted to an FBI agent March 27th, 25, that they were all in there lying to him. And it never offended him. And he knew they were trying to kill me because of it. He didn't blame them for trying to kill me. Sorry about that. That he didn't blame him for trying to kill me. Says it on a recorded line. Makes fun of me for some guy named Pete I still never met. And some dirty doctor I've never heard of. And then made me beg for my life, list me informant with money and immunity, and then threatened me if I told. And he's already admitted everybody knew. And then he doesn't have authority, and then it's a federal crime of blackmail. Okay. And then I didn't believe he was real. And a few weeks later, I want to make sure he was real. I heard Dave threatened Dixie and the baby his life, and they had a list, and I Googled the office. I found him. They yelled out, he's got a list, I'm working on it. And then a few months later, I called back down, and they said he was no longer with the FBI. We're so sorry, Miss Hall, for everything. We're so sorry. Those ladies today, and Bob Evans said, it is that guy. They fired. She said something last night. Boy, that'd have been something if they would have done it that way. I said, it'd been something, and it'd be totally cool if they would have had him pretend he was dirty. Act like he's going along with it. Act like he got fired from the FBI. Join him. Sell him the login to the case, and then put a reverse malware on it so they could track him. She said, boy, that would have been something if they would have done it that way. But no, it's just that guy being dirty. See, that's my luck. She said, but boy, that would have been a good idea. She's really something. She told him what she's going to do to him. Well, give him a chance. Walk away. See, that's where Brenda Spratz and Rick, where these people are feeding him, that they can steal everything from Carl. Steal all his money, steal all his assets, sue me for everything me and my husband spent. They can't do that. It wasn't theirs, and they're not even his kids. And then his kids are not entitled. Where is this spoiled brat entitlement coming from, that they're so entitled they can kill, rob, and destroy? See, that's where that Henry Mafia lies to ignorant people that are like that, and that they can do it. And there's laws that stop all of it. What will happen? Like the VA from Washington, D.C. wrote Carl a letter. They take this very seriously. He's going to end up with nothing. Or he can walk away. But you can't fix people that think they're above the law and they can kill and destroy and rob somebody they think is weaker. We went vehicle shopping. And I could hear some people and laughing. It's not funny. It's not funny. And like some other guy said, the police told everybody to knock it off. Knock it off. It's just some guy scamming her. Scamming her. Thinking he can steal everything. Just some guy scamming her. And she asked some officers to check who was in that courthouse. Because if it's that guy that got fired, he would know better than to be there. Oh, we're looking at a very never getting out of federal prison charge. And he's no longer an agent. They said it better be someone just pretending to be FBI. It better not be him. Okay? Then on the way back, we stop at Bob Evans at Fairlight. Of course, there's a retard out there on the phone, a retard. Did they do something about the tape of Weird with yourself? Did they give all the kids all the money? Good. It's like, you fucking retard. Would the drug cartel give you, what, $5 to come act like a fool? You know, they were already talking in that auto place. The police already know everything was Photoshopped. Nobody knew anything about this. They've known it was Photoshopped since 18, honey. They were breaking in Walmart in front of them. People impersonate people trying to pull their scam off. They knew the whole thing was a scam. You know, Dave's ex-girlfriend, Michelle, where Anita and Pam were talking, Mary's niece, Michelle, was willing to kill someone just to date Dave, just for the opportunity to date someone like Dave. She was willing to kill someone. And Dave was excited. He never had anybody willing to kill someone just to date him. That poor family, that is in debt. Where they said, I talked about a poor family being in debt through the whole thing. It's where Katie has been the Strange's son's girlfriend on the side, the mistress, bragging that everybody's stealing for her. It's her family. And she's very wealthy. She has a dairy farm. She has a big farm. They have horses. They have cows. Very rich. She sits in a jewelry store to get away from the farm while her sister and brother-in-law runs the farm. She owns a big farm. Could she have paid off that debt? Yeah. Well, I guess that Michelle, that Dave was dating, was sitting around laughing how they fooled everybody and got away with this. Do you know what the cartel's response was? September 30th, 25 or 1 o'clock in the morning, a biker brought her down. The guys running it said no one's allowed to say a word to her again in her life. That this whole thing is your family's debt to drug dealers. Is that what's going on? Yes. Okay. Does she even know who you are? No, I don't want her to know. She don't even know who you are. You had her skull bashed in, her raped and tortured because you were in debt to drug dealers? Yes, I'm sorry. Listen to her friend Matt and her talk January 13th, 23. The Ohio drug dealers were threatening that agent's life for letting all those people be human trafficked, and it was your family letting them be human trafficked, and your family human trafficked people because you were in debt to drug dealers. Yes, I'm sorry. She sold children, and she's sorry. I listened to September 23, the original cartel admitted they photoshopped everything. Did you know that? Yes. Did you know they confronted her ex-husband that if it was a medication error, medical malpractice, and fraud that made her sick before? Did you know that? Yes. And it's your family inciting her new husband's family to steal everything from. Yes, but I really want that farm. Like, it makes it okay. where Henry, and then where on March 27th, 25, an agent broke up with this other Michelle, real pretty one. And when she told him that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them, and they had lied, he was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is, and when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent at work. And as soon as she told him, he broke up with her and got out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so he could get a job at my dad's factory, and she could have free insurance. The woman using my insurance, running up bills in my name, was another girlfriend. And out of that family that was telling everyone that it offended them, that he called her a faker, that they were lying to the FBI. It didn't even concern them. They were just lying to help him get away with it. March 20th, 26. Walmart West tests electronics and investigated from 18 years and out. I'm tired of this. How would you like to be me? Told you. During the case, they even had a fake John walk by me in front of the police and FBI. Me and the other John to get away with this. Walk by with, he's about 3 or 4 inches taller, thicker. Walk by, but he looks similar. I told you over the weekend we went to Myers, North Main. There was a guy who looked similar to that, walked ahead with a girl white with black hair. And he said, how did it go? Oh yeah, they put the nose up there, just like the guy did. And the girl got on the phone. How dumb were they? Bring in the pretend John in to verify everything in front of the police and FBI. They always knew the whole thing was a scam. Oh, they're making fun of her for Agent John stealing her money. See, that's where they need to get a hold of this. That one guy got fired. He was no longer with FBI at 19. And if it is him helping these people, he needs arrested. He's not even an agent. And he's the one selling government technology. And he's the one helping them trying to get a case against the drug cartel thrown out. Find out who was in that courthouse September 10th, 25. There was somebody in the prosecutor's office saying that they wanted me to have nobody in my life, have nothing done. That's abuse of authority. You can't strip someone of everything. Then some other idiot behind another door saying that they had the right to do this. They didn't have any rights. Then Judge Lori saying that there was an office down there calling me a liar on my case fraud. You need to find out who the hell was in that courthouse. Then you can actually watch Dab sexually assault Carl in the courthouse. While he says like this. He ended up with thrush. Disgusting. Like Deputy Cox said, that's not okay. That is assault. Oh. And everything in these crimes these people have done. And I have held my temper because I didn't want to put Carl through it. They start with me. Then it comes back. And these people actually committed crimes. What are they going to say? Me and my husband spent our own money on each other? It's not a crime. What are they going to say? She's evil. She buys them clothes and shoes and TVs and healthy food and makes them feel good about herself. Okay, that's what the last one said. She's evil. She buys them new clothes, new shoes, healthy food, and makes them feel good about herself. It's because I love him. And we were friends for 4 years now. We've been dating for 2, and we've been married over a year. And see, when you honestly care about somebody, make sure they have the best. But Officer Mark, Officer John, you need to find out if it is that agent that got fired. Some ladies and Bob Evans said it is actually him, and he's the one that's so-called running it. He's the original bad guy. He's getting even with the FBI. He needs stopped, or somebody pretending to be him. Okay? You'll know who it is when you pull the courthouse tapes. September 10th, 25. Find out who talked to Judge Lori and who's been in those other doctor's offices. They need stopped. This isn't even funny. And because if they get the case thrown out as fraud, all those drug dealers walk. And this is just a scam. Like they said, some guy said the police had already told me that everyone's to knock this off. It's just some guy scamming her, trying to steal everything from her. Oh, and up at Medina Automall, I would check the ladies' bathrooms. I was in there using the bathroom. Well, they have really cheap toilet paper. And so you had to use a little extra and make sure that, because it just rips. Went outside and some guy in a truck's talking to somebody about it. Act like they could see me in there. Little kids could use that bathroom. And I'm telling you, the drug cartel is in more public bathrooms, taping people and selling them on porn sites. That's how not funny it is. I'd be checking that. Because how else would they know that, you have to use extra toilet paper to get the shredded up? Because it's one ply paper thin shit? And they're out saying snotty comments about it? What are they doing looking in a lady's bathroom stall? And how do they see me? See, that's where they have seen me in the back of businesses, using the bathroom and everything. They realize they taped other people using the bathroom as a drug cartel. That's where none of this is funny. And people, when they need to start realizing how not funny this is. See, it's one thing when they're assholes. Like today I wore a sundress and it flared out. It wouldn't make me look heavier, but it was super comfy. And since we were going to go look at trucks and stuff, and I had to climb up in there, did I care if I looked fatter? No, it was comfy. It's super soft, super big. It was wonderful. And I know I looked fat in it. I don't care. Just not with Carl today. I was not out there to impress anybody. Of course, people want to see comments. Because you know what? Did I ask you if you like my dress? No. Did I ask you how I look in it? No. Do I need your opinion? No. Apparently you weren't raised right. Because, the whole thing is, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And somebody who don't know you, do people walk around insulting your clothes? And picking at you? I don't know you. And then these people, I heard some guys laughing today, and they said, well, you can tell that's Photoshopped. Well, yeah. Like the cops said, they always knew everything was Photoshopped. They even told people on Forest Grove up in Akron in 23. June of 23, it was already documented, verified. Everything was Photoshopped on me before. Documented, verified. FBI case. See, that's where, like they said, some guy's trying to pull a fast one on her and trying to steal everything. It's just a fast one. See, what is a jail sentence where they try to say an attorney did? For an attorney, if a husband hires them to set up on cameras, stalking his wife, their wife, in their private home without her knowledge or consent. Disbarment immediately. 5 to 20 years. What is a jail sentence for an attorney hired by a husband to stalk his wife with button cameras in their home, tape in the bathroom, Photoshop things like washing in the shower in the other room, have men break in to drug her for fake confessions, and have her being raped under drugs, up to life in federal? And you were saying your confession to what crime? What is the jail sentence for an FBI agent to tell on a victim? It's up to 20 years. What is that jail sentence for an FBI agent to bully someone into false statements under threat of arrest? Up to 20. What is the jail sentence for an FBI agent threatening an informant if they tell anybody that they won't get their informant money? It's 20 to life. It is blackmail, extortion out of government funds, a crime against the U.S. government, because it's government funds and theft out of it. Tampering with a witness and obstruction to justice. What is the jail sentence? And if an FBI agent tells an informant if they say anything, that they won't have any help. It can go into attempted murder, aiding and abetting crimes, tampering with a witness, and obstruction to justice, 20 to life. You were saying who did what crimes? I'm going to upload this.